Hi guys, Andrew Boylan here, and if you're wondering why I'm talking really low, that is because it is approximately 1:30 in the morning, and everybody is sound asleep in my house right now, but I don't care, I'm wide awake, so I'm going to do a commentary anyway. Yeah, I decided to go with this one, both of them actually, because there are lots and lots of things to talk about that happened with making these episodes. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happened. Um, I should probably talk about how this came up. Um, Basically, during Holiday Chaos, while we were shooting it, it was about a month earlier when Dan, Mike, and myself decided that we were going to continue on for a third season. And we all felt, and at the time, season 3 was going to be the end of the show. It was going to be the final season. It didn't end up being the final season, but at the time it was. And we all decided that if we were going to do another Christmas episode, we had to make it better than Holiday Chaos. We wanted to make it better than Holiday Chaos. And I believe we did. I mean, I think this episode, both these episodes knocked Holiday Chaos right out of the ballpark. I don't know why, but for some reason, throughout this whole show, throughout the show of Heavy Duty, um, for some reason, I think the Christmas episodes are the ones that stand out the most. Like, these are the episodes that are the best out of all the seasons. But we only made two Christmas specials, one in the second season and this one in the third season. And yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm guessing it's probably a good thing, obviously, because we had fun making these. But does that mean we didn't have fun making the other ones? I'm not sure, but I'm going off topic. But aside from that, um, I originally said, like, while we were shooting Holiday Chaos, that the next Christmas special we should do something like this kind of narration, and we should have someone who's doing like a Dr. Seuss-esque rhyming repeatedly narrative while we're while all the hijinks ensues on us. And we all initially said out loud, well, the perfect guy for that is Matt Hoover. Obviously, we all felt that he would be the perfect guy for that. And right around that time, he had seen one of the shows we were doing in the second season, and he contacted me and he asked me. He said, I really like your show. If you guys ever need me to do something, just call me up. I'd love to be a part of this." And we said, "Yeah, we got an idea for you coming up next season." And he said, "Great, just contact me when you're ready and we'll do it." So 9 months later, we called him up and we said, "Matt, we're doing the Christmas special. Do you want to come over and be the narrator for this?" And he was very happy to do that. And he came over to the house in August when we started shooting it. And that was a terrible day, I think, for all of us for shooting. That was a time when I think it was right around that point when we started to feel that this show isn't what it was. Like, we started to not have fun anymore. Oh my God. Everybody cracks up at that part. It's still not a bad Michael Jackson impression, I gotta tell you. I'm just singing really, really high. But aside from that, in in August of 2012, most of the third season was filmed, but there were problems. And what those problems basically were was that as we were working on the third season, first of all, I should make this clear. This was the first season that was scripted. In the first two seasons, there were no scripts. Everything was done. Everything was improv on the set, and judging by my acting, I don't want to say Dan or Mike's because they can act. I will say that I cannot act. That's why I'm pretty much playing a more I'm sorry to say this word, asshole of myself. I'm not really like that. But it was at that point when all of us pretty much looked at each other and said, you know what, this show, it's not fun anymore. And it was during that time when we started shooting it that it wasn't fun because we had a lot of, we knew there were problems with the scripts and everything. And that was the hardest part because I found out during production of the third season that I'm not that good of a comedy writer. I can't write, because here's the thing, I can write funny situations. That's what my strongest point is. I'm good at writing these comedic situations that we get into. I'm not good with the wordplay, with the dialogue. I'm not good with that at all. The words that you're laughing at here, it's all improv. Like this whole thing, like as soon as I wrote the story for the Christmas Tale, this was all not in there. The whole thing with the star not working, that happened while we were rehearsing, and Mike thought it would be funny. Well, you know what? Let's just throw that in the episode that the star's not working. I get mad at that. I'm like, you know what? That actually works. Let's do it. Like we get along so much better, and especially the story gets better when we do improv with this, not with the scripts, because the scripts are basically, we're going to say this, we're going to do that, we're going to say this, we're going to do that, and then the hijinks happens. And that wasn't fun. And it clearly shows that, when you see that in the last couple of seasons. Because in the first two seasons, we had stories, but we didn't have dialogue. We just ad-libbed everything. And that worked for the most part. So when Matt came over in August to do his lines originally, and you see some of that in the season 3 trailer when he comes out of the bathroom and he says, "Hi, I'm Matt Hoover. Oh, I can't say that anymore. I don't go to Camden Catholic anymore." We shot his original lines there, and it didn't work out because we didn't have the lines ready to go. And that was the hardest part about this episode. I couldn't. Now here's the thing. This aired in the third season. Oh wait, just a little side note. This is one of my favorite. Now this is what I wrote. This is one of my all-time favorite things here. Yeah. Yeah. That gets me every time. Yeah, Matt's applauding too. But here's the thing: this whole special was done in the third season. These were the only 2 episodes that were not scripted. This is all improv. I had a couple of lines of story, and we were gonna ad lib everything. And you know what? It worked great because I think this is the reason why it knocked Holiday Chaos right out, because we were trying to top ourselves, but not in a way that we felt it was going to be better than Holiday Chaos. We were like, okay, we're going to make another Christmas special. And I think the reason why this is the best one is because we didn't try too hard with this. It's just a Christmas story, basically. We're trying to tell a funny story that happens to us at Christmas time. You know, the hard the hard part was during this third season was that it was hell making that third season. Like even on that August day when we did Matt's lines originally and it wasn't working out because we didn't have everything ready to go. The hardest part was trying to write the story, but I couldn't write the story without writing Matt's lines first. Now I wrote all of Matt's rhymes that he does in this whole thing, part 1 and part 2. But without his lines, I couldn't write the story unless I had his lines written down first. So I had to write his lines first, and then the story could come after that, because he was going to be narrating what was going to happen to us. And we were going to be breaking the fourth wall a lot and making fun of the fact that he was narrating it. I didn't just want him rhyming over and over again because I was going to get old. And in fact, we actually make fun of that. Yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite lines. I hate Christmas! Yeah. It's actually a hard thing to do here because um, during production of the third season, season 2 was tough Um, well, let me put it this way: every season of this show was tough. Even the first season, even when the show got back on its feet and it went on the air, it was tough then. But when we got to the third season, it just got more and more complicated because the second season was tough because we didn't have we only had a number of days to film and get everything done. But by the time we got to the third season, it was just like start stop start stop start stop. Some days the guys would show up, we would get nothing done. And the funny thing is, during the production of season 3, halfway through the third season, the one of my favorite all-time bands, the Eagles, came out with a documentary about how they made their albums and their records and everything. Pretty much the history of the band. And when they talked about them making the Long Run album, I immediately thought of us and the situation we were in because when they made the Long Run album, Hotel California had just come out, and they put a lot of pressure on themselves trying to top themselves. They wanted no filler on that record. They wanted every song on that record to be perfect. And a lot of times when they went into the studio, nothing would get done. They would start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. And that's exactly what we did during this third season, and it killed us. We were fried by the end of that third season. I still don't know how we did season 4. I had no idea how we did it. Well, that's the end of part 1. I'll see you guys in part 2.